Hi, YouTube, and hello to all the people who might be coming over here from my Understanding Energy newsletter or Facebook page. And first of all, I'm a little nervous because I'm totally new to doing this kind of thing, but I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Party, and my day job really is as a music teacher and as a musician. I do some performing, and I have another YouTube station that is my students and myself creating music. But over the last 6 years or so, I've been cultivating a lot of other skills, including astrology, giving astrology readings, and that's what the Understanding Energy is related to. Reiki, I studied Reiki really intensively for about 2 years, so I enjoy doing that. I do a lot of channeled writing, and I've only recently started really sharing that publicly, but I've done it as a personal practice and a sort of healing practice for a very long time. I want to say 9 years, 8 years, 8 or 9 years. And then recently, I've been getting into a lot more, including oracle readings and exploring the tarot. I've been including those in readings for my astrology clients and also just connecting from and learning from people from the tarot community on Instagram. So I wouldn't yet call myself a professional tarot reader, but I've been really enjoying exploring that and incorporating it with other things that I do. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit more today, and also just talk about some things that are sound from the other apartment. Just talk about some other things that are happening right now astrologically. So the biggest thing I think that has been happening recently astrologically has been Mercury's retrograde in Capricorn, and that was happening for a few weeks through most of January, and then just 2 days ago it turned direct. And so, it's always very exciting when Mercury goes direct because we feel like we can really move forward with our communications and also get some clarity on some things that have been very muddled. And also, generally speaking, it means you're not going to have the same amount of canceled appointments and technological issues and travel issues and things like that you experienced during the retrograde. But I think this Mercury retrograde whole season and also the station direct has been complicated a little bit recently because of Mercury's contact with Pluto and Uranus while it was retrograde, and even now as it's stationing direct. So, as some of you know who do follow astrology, Pluto and Uranus have been squaring each other or triggering each other, combating or challenging each other for the better part of about 5 years. I guess for about 3 years through last year, they would do exact hits, and that's not happening anymore. However, the energy is still intense with those two planets. Pluto brings up a lot of stuff that's really deeply buried, things that we haven't wanted to look at, things that we might call shadow material that really need to be examined in order to be set free or liberated. And Uranus wants us to break free, wants us to see things differently, to take the risk to be absolutely unapologetically authentic, no matter what anybody else thinks, and to connect with other people who really value us for who we are authentically. So these two planets have been squaring for a number of years, and Mercury, as it's stationed direct, and especially today, has been triggering Pluto exactly. So there has been this feeling for all of us that we're really trying to get light and clarification on some issues that have been troubling us from some time. And maybe we didn't realize the extent to which we were being bothered by it, or that we needed to have some healing and self examination done. But now we really are realizing the depth of the work that we need to do. And I think it's important to be patient with ourselves in this process, to really approach the self-examination and digging through the skeletons in the closet with a lot of love and unconditional love and warm regard for ourselves, even when we're looking at stuff that might be yucky and that might require us to make deep changes in our life. So the ruler, let me rephrase that. So the moon is in Virgo currently, and it just met up with Jupiter, and it just met up with the North Node. And the ruler of all of those Virgo energies, Jupiter, Moon, North Node in Virgo, is this Mercury. So the North Node has a lot to do with things that we have not explored previously that are really important to our karmic destiny, that are really essential tasks for us in this lifetime, new ways of being. And so really, it's not just that we're being asked to excavate and look at difficult things. It's that doing so allows us to step into something fresh, into some new potential that's waiting for us. And that's really, I think, with this setup that we're experiencing right now of North Node and Jupiter, Jupiter being the planet of faith and opportunity, North Node and Jupiter being in Virgo, and the moon right now currently too, the current mood that we're experiencing. And then all of that being ruled by this Mercury really is encouraging us to delve into this self-examination and get support with that, or however it is that you feel comfortable doing that, whether it's with a healer or a therapist, or whether it means you're talking to a friend or a healer, a shaman, very Plutonian kind of things, a therapist. However it is that you are able to engage with that material that's been buried, now's the time to do that, and doing that will allow you to step forward into new opportunity, North Node, and to really expand Jupiter. You know, there can be even a joyfulness, because Jupiter really is an optimistic planet, a joyfulness that you can step into just by being willing to be with the dark stuff and bring that into the light. And also, Virgo is very much related to digesting things, whether you're talking about food or whether you're talking about information. So being able to digest, to break down the elements of your experience and understand why what is happening, why that is happening. That's an important part of this. And being able to clarify, because I do feel like Jupiter in Virgo, and Virgo generally, is also about making things clearer, clarifying and breaking down. So I wanted to share that astrologically, that is some of the energy that we're working with right now. Of course, we also have the sun in Aquarius, which helps us to connect with other people and to step outside of the box. And we have Venus that recently joined Pluto and Mercury and Capricorn. Mars is in Scorpio, super juicy, but again, adding that fuel to this process of bringing stuff up from the depths. Saturn is squaring Neptune, although they've kind of drawn apart. Saturn in Sagittarius, Neptune in Pisces. So there are these other energies going on, but I just wanted to really take a moment to focus on the energy that is currently in Virgo and Mercury stationing that has been triggering Pluto and Uranus. Um, so that's the astrology that was on my mind that I wanted to share. And then there was something else I wanted to share. And this was actually my main desire, reason, interest, leap of faith in terms of making this video. And so I just want to talk briefly about a little project that I've been doing. And I actually started this project a little over 2 months ago when Saturn was exactly squaring Neptune. So Saturn rules commitment and Neptune rules divine, divine flow, healing, channeling, connection, these kinds of things. So what I've been doing over these last 2 months or so is I've been exploring the tarot. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, I do have an interest in tarot, and I have for years. I've drawn daily cards and kind of studied it a little bit, but not that much. Mainly focusing in terms of the metaphysical on my meditation practice, on channeled writing, astrology, and healing, which is, kind of a lot in and of itself. And I would say the dearest aspect of that to me is actually channeled writing, which I've done for some years, and that's been a big part of my personal healing process. So the way that I've been exploring the tarot for these last 2 months, what I've been doing is doing daily draws for the tarot, which I think is a pretty common, popular, way to study and get to know the tarot, to do daily draws and then to journal about what your experience is, each day that you draw a card. And you can go through the whole deck that way. So that's what I've been doing, but with a twist, because I do feel really super connected to the practice of channeled writing, and because I believe that that part of me knows a lot more than even the intellectual part of me knows, I decided to make that part of my practice for these last few months, so that instead of just journaling about my experience each day, I have been kind of taking mental notes and noticing the experiences that come up. But what I've been doing each day is actually receiving a message from the cards. So basically channeling one card per day and connecting to the voice of these different cards, or trying to let the pure message come through. So that if each of the cards was able to speak just in and of itself, what would it have to say? What is its essential lesson? What is its healing message? What can we learn from it? And we, meaning everyone, although it's been a practice for me to learn from each card too. So what I wanted to do today is share 2 of the writings that I've done. And I will show you the ones that were drawn. Interestingly, they're both major arcana cards. So this is one that I drew that I will share the writing for. This is the Shadowscapes Tarot rendition of Temperance. And this is the Shadowscapes Tarot rendition of the Hierophant. So those are the 2 cards that I'm going to read messages from. And I also just wanted to mention that I think I'm on day 66 right now out of 78, so I'll be winding them up in a little less than 2 weeks. But you can find all of the writings on my Instagram channel if you're interested in doing that. You can just find me on Instagram, Jennifer Parde, P-A-R-D-E. And all of the writings are there. And if I can figure out, being totally newbie to this, if I can figure out how to post a link to that in the description, I will. And then I'm going to, at some point, try to compile these and put them on my website, which is jenniferparde.com. and maybe even like compile them into an ebook that I'll send to all of my newsletter subscribers. So if you're interested in finding any of the writings, that's how you can find them. And pretty soon I'll have one for every single card, so you could basically look them up. It'll be much easier to do that, obviously, once it's on my website. So I'll get on that. But for now, let me read you the two messages that have that I wanted to share today from these channel messages from the tarot. And I'm sorry that I'll be looking off into the corner as I do this, but that's because I have to read from my computer. It won't be that exciting to watch me, probably, while I'm reading these. So if you want to, you can even close your eyes. To me, I very much feel the energy of the different cards as I write them. And every time I read a message like this, these messages or any channel messages. So perhaps you might be interested in, if you're not driving, in even closing your eyes and just allowing my voice to connect with your body as you listen. So without further ado, I will read the channeled writing for Temperance. There are times in life in which we must negotiate the extremes, the most passionate of highs, the most devastating of lows. But most of the time, we navigate the middle ground. We learn to dance through sadness, to invite laughter and forgiveness, to steady our open heart. Moderation is not simply a dull middle ground. It is the ability to remain fluid, to entertain opposites, and to embrace paradox. The dance of the human heart requires us to open to all shades of being. And at more and more subtle levels, we learn to paint our experience with the most complementary of hues. So that was Temperance. You can see how that connects to this illustration. And next I will read the Hierophant, or as I translated it with my writing, the Teacher. There are times when having a teacher is essential to your path. Whether you wish to learn a new language, or to play an instrument, or to deepen in your spiritual practice, there are times when you need a guide, someone to show you the ropes. And there are times when you need someone more learned and experienced to guide you through the rites of initiation, whatever that practice may be. My job as the teacher is to be an example for you, a pathfinder, and a waymaker. I am here to show you that the path is not so scary, even though you don't understand it yet. I am here to give you forms of practice and words of encouragement. And yes, I may also give you constructive advice. But how can one be a way shower if they do not advise you honestly when you are drifting from the path? Take heart, my dear. You do not know the way just yet, but your intention is good and your heart is pure. That is what matters most. When you drift from your practice, I advise you to simply renew your intention and come back. It is as simple as that. As you continue down the path, you will grow, and it will grow to be a part of you. You will no longer drift, because you will find that you know who you are through your practice. It is your anchor, your means of communicating with your higher self, with your inner knowing. So stay with it, dear. Renew your commitment daily. Let it seep into your heart, into your being. Before you know it, you will become inseparable, and you will become unshakable in your knowing. When truth settles into your being in that way, then you will have arrived. And that is my wish for you. So I hope you enjoyed those 2 readings from the tarot channeled writings that I've been doing. If you have any feedback, or if there's any of the other cards that you would like to hear, I'd be happy to read them. Just let me know. I am totally new to making these videos for understanding energy, which is my astrology and healing, and I would say channeling. So I hope you enjoyed this video, which is only my 2nd ever for understanding energy. And if there's anything else that you would like to hear from me, any other tarot channel writings you would like to hear, or suggestions that you have, please just let me know. I also wanted to mention that in the background, that beautiful painting that you see there is by a friend of mine named Cedar Lee, and she has, I think her website is artbycedar.com, and that's one of her cosmic dance paintings, and it really is beautiful. Also, you can see some of my stuffed animals, including unicorn, because I don't know, I'm a mystical Pisces rising person. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed your visit to my channel. If you're interested in future videos and you want to subscribe, that will encourage me to keep doing them. Or if you like it, that would be great too. But most of all, just let me know if this benefited you in any way, or if you have any questions, suggestions, or requests. Okay, thank you so much, and blessings to all of you.